Hi, very good morning. Over this weekend, I actually went for a 30K trek, a jungle trek in Sydney. It's beautiful. And then on the way, I realized that there is a big similarity between how we actually run a startup, and especially if you're bootstrapping, and then also how you actually run 30K or a 40K marathon, or do a trek like this, which is really taxing. And it was a very hot day. So these are the 8 things that I kind of would like to share with you in terms of similarities between bootstrapping your startup and getting it to a stage where it actually becomes commercially viable. And then also, on the other hand, what I learned from this particular trek. So the first thing was preparation is a must, and live and relive what happens in coming 3 to 6 months. So in this case of the trek, uh, I knew that there will not be any water that will be available. I need to keep my sugars and my salt up. That means if it's a 9-hour trek, then how much water I need to carry, what kind of food I should carry that will be good for me. Then what should be the preparation in terms of how I protect myself, because it was a very hot day, humid day. And then what kind of I would say, if there are insect bites, or if there is what kind of shoes I should wear, because it was a terrain that was very hard rocks and uphill and downhill. And very similar thing, we have to do it for a startup also, right? Then that means you need to prepare well what product you're making, whom you're going to sell, who is going to be your team, what's your cash flow going to look like, are you, if you're bootstrapping especially, how I'm going to get the clients, whether they're going to take it, if there any regulation is there. So you need to do a lot of homework, and you need to prepare yourself very, very well. Then the second thing was that each step matters. Essentially, on a trail like that, if you especially with a lot of stones and I would say a lot of small little branches that have fallen off, and there are a lot of dried leaves with some water underneath, so it's a little bit slippery. So one of the teammates actually slipped, and she landed up with both her knees getting kind of a little injured, not very badly. She did finish it, but then it was a very good realization that you need to make sure that each step that you're taking, you watch out. And I think if you're in a startup, you actually do the same thing. Even if you're a young company, you do the same thing. You need to watch out in terms of how you're handling your clients, what communications going out, how you're treating employees, every small little thing, how you run your operations, to the minute details, and that's what will make the difference. So and you need to make sure that every step, every task that matters should be accountable, and there should be a proper ownership. So preparation and each step matters is something that is very, very important. It essentially reflects your discipline, that you have actually prepared yourself, and also taking ahead in such a long span. So you can't be very macro viewed, but you have to have a very micro view also when you do things. And then obviously each team member has to do what they do. The third thing which I realized in this track, and which I can map very, very well onto in terms of the startup journey, or a young company journey, is that the somewhere in the middle, you will feel that god damn it, man, this is too tough, I gotta give up. And at that point, and especially if you're looking, at some point your body will say that, okay, I'm exhausted, legs have started paining a bit, it's too hot a day, one or two people have quit, so you also mind goes into that direction. And that's where you need to really see that how you will actually pull it through. So that's where I think you really need to focus and prepare yourself, and then plan ahead. So from an idea to a successful venture where you're repeating your success, it's a long journey. And journey doesn't stop with a single client or a certain set of employees. If you have a much bigger version, you're going for series A, series B funding, or you're, even if you're self-funded but you want to expand with more customers coming in, and more kind of replicating your success, then you need to kind of go through that journey. So either it would be financial, or it would be emotional, or both. You need to actually plan it quite well, and you will hit the wall, but you have to cross that that mental block or financial emotional block, and actually go through that. So in our trek, actually, I think around 16 kilometers, I hit that wall myself, and it was very tough, and legs were giving up. So I took a 2 3 5 minute break and really thought about like what I have achieved till now, and that kind of helped me to motivate myself to actually go further ahead. So you can actually look back and say that, okay, this is what I have achieved till now, and you have come such a long way, and now why you want to stop now and give it all up? So you actually better continue with that. So think, reflect back what you have done and feel good about it, and then use that as a motivation to take it forward. Next thing is consistency. I think you have to keep on moving. Don't get relaxed. Every day matters, every hour matters, everything, every step matters. So in a sense, if you stop, in a trail like this, in a jungle walk like this, your legs are already getting tired, you're sweating, other people might have quit or not, it doesn't matter. But what you would go through is that you will, your mind will say, okay, you know what, let's give it up, something like mental block that will come. But you can cross that step. So every step, even if it's small, if you're getting tired, if it's an uphill, it's a difficult task, it's a big barrier, you can pull it back and take small little steps, but do not stop, keep consistent, keep on pursuing, keep on doing it. So one of the best logos I like is of Nike, just do it, just keep on doing it, and I think you will see light at the end of the tunnel, and you will achieve that. The next was mind your pace. The mistake I made in this trek was that there were three or four individuals who were extremely fit and good, and they were much fast paced, 20 25 year old young guys, high energy. And yeah, somehow I kind of landed up being in the front with them. And then what I realized was that it was really taxing, and I after a kilometer or so, I realized, especially it was a little uphill, and I said, I can't pace myself with these guys. And then obviously there was this a little bit more relaxed group which was a little bit about 2 or 3 minutes behind us. And then I kind of got back and paced myself at what pace I would like to walk and finish it. And that what gave me that little bit I would say the consistent performance that I would like to have, where I knew that this is my optimal and this is where I can perform the best. So do not come under pressure of catching up with others who are ahead of you, or do not slow down too much so that you're too slow. Find your optimum optimal I would say the pace that you can work with, that your team can work with, that as an organization you can grow from a startup. You can't do everything on day one, so you need to pace yourself up and then slowly move towards those tasks, and then do those tasks and plan the next ones. But keep a pace that is manageable and that gives you the maximum productivity and efficiency. If you don't do that, then we'll end up in a big problem, and then you will burn out somewhere, either financially or emotionally, and then or a few of your team members will do that. So you need to make sure that you don't land up in that situation. So mind your pace, pace yourself well, be optimal, and then move ahead. The next sixth point was strong legs versus determined mind. uh, Somewhere or the other, even if you have strong legs and you're an amateur walker like me, let's say you do 5 10K runs occasionally, and you're quite good with that, but doing 30 30 40 k is a lot. So your legs physically will give up some time. So at that point, it's your mind versus your body. And something very similar in your startup. So you might have the right I would say financials to get started and all that, and some point you will have saying that, okay, if I want to grow to the next level, I need to achieve certain what is the milestones. But yes, that you can do it, but your your maps or your accounts or your team might not do that. So that's where I think you have to think as a as a team player, put all your minds together, come up with a plan that actually is executable, have a plan B and plan B, and then work towards that. So even though you have that a great team, there will be some point where they will feel burnout, and you might lose a couple of good guys because they are getting burnt out, and you're still pushing them to achieve the targets or achieve the milestones. Don't do that. Listen to them, uh, pace yourself right, make the right decisions, don't let them burn out, and then move ahead. So even though you have strong legs, strong players, team players, but use your mind to make sure that they are happy and they're not getting burnt out. Yeah, so that's where all the pieces come together in terms of preparation. Each step matters. Hitting the wall, keeping your mind this thing, keeping a consistent pace. All this actually leads to two things: moving forward, and that's what matters at the end of the day. Then one of the very simple strategies which I learned was that team up. So you might have somebody who's running too fast, you might have somebody who's a little bit slower. So what if you do is, if you team up the smartest guy, or the fastest guy in this case, with the slower guy. So in a startup, what you can do is you can team up people who are extremely good or fast, as mentors or buddies, as your little bit weaklings or the new people that have joined in. So firstly, what you're doing is that you're helping the weaker link. I won't call it weaker, or the newer link, and then you're pacing the strongest guy to not burn out. So you are actually finding the balance between both of them, and then you can do it in different groups. So what happened in this journey was that we had about 6 or 7 groups, and they were walking in lines of twos. So they were the pretty good guys, who actually kind of came back, and then they started walking with a little bit slower of them, and then found the right optimal pace that was there, that was needed to actually push all as a team forward, and not burn out. And that was one of the very, very critical lessons I learned. And I think in my startups I have not really implemented that philosophy, but I will be doing that, pacing up this, the fastest with a little bit slower ones, and then getting the optimal performance as a team. And then obviously there are very direct and indirect benefits of doing this, which I think definitely should be used. And then lastly, you have as fast as the slowest guy. So something very similar. So split the tasks which are let's say you have a couple of good engineers, sales guys, new sales guys, marketing people. So build tasks that are actually helping each other out, and giving the slows a little bit of pace, and giving the super fast guys to do what they do, but at the same time actually help with the little bit slower team, this thing. So, and it's going to be with the team members, it's going to be the task, try to finish significant tasks first. So what I learned is, in the guide which we had, was that he actually told, in certain parts, preempted us, saying that this is going to be a tough part, the next 1 kilometer. So you prepare yourself. So mentally we were ready. The teams were paired up accordingly. We would have a little bit breaks, so we can have some some energy dose, boost coming in, motivation talks going on. So those are the things which actually matter. So what I realized in this 30K run was that it is not just that one first kilometer or the last kilometer. It's all that whole journey that is happening in that 6, 8, 9 hours, which is what is very critical. So every part in that journey was extremely critical, well planned, a lot of discipline, a lot of teamwork there, all coming together to actually achieve the final goal as a team. And that's what matters. You can't have one super smart guy and he's just finishing it, but it doesn't really matter. You have to finish as a team. And startups is all about teams. It's all about getting those micro tasks done, convert your idea into a venture successfully. And I'm not sure how many of you would have run long distances, but for me it was a very great experience, and I loved it. And I'm motivated to do more. But the learnings that I've had from this has is going to help us to improve our team at Blue Bricks to become better in serving our clients, in serving in, I would say, serving our partners, building new products, building new innovations, getting new people on board, following a certain culture that is actually healthy for all of us. And all this really matters when you're taking a startup which is bootstrapped all the way to a successful venture. And it was really, really great. And I really hope all of you can actually do a couple of your learnings and walks together, and achieve much bigger goals in terms of your personal as well as your professional. And thank you so much. So these were my thoughts on this jungle trek, and I hope I can do much more and share it with you guys. Yeah, I'll be blogging about it also, so I think this video will go as an attachment to that blog too. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, keep trekking and keep building new stuff.